Hey everyone, it's Anthony Smith. We're going to touch on failure as the big subject today and maybe sprinkle in some feedback conversation because I got some recently for my podcast that I want to share with you guys. We've even touched on some of this before, but just because I want to make sure it's a little more in depth in terms of what I'm really trying to think about in this moment. I even wrote down some comments here on a page. I opened up Microsoft Word and wrote some stuff down, and I want to go over a big piece that is really important. And just because I think my content is good does not mean it is actually good. It's definitely part of the journey of figuring out what works. So we're going to go over a few things that helped me through my failures, because not many individuals get it right the first time. It can definitely happen, but it's not often that you come in, you slay dragons, you know exactly what to do. It doesn't really work that way. And this also goes back to the reality of being patient and being excited to fail. Failing does suck at first. It might even be hard getting up sometimes, the next day because of your failures the day before. But I guarantee you this, that's the real problem. If you're failing over and over again, but you're trying new things continuously, that's not a problem. That means you're learning, that means you're growing. At some point you will get it right. You'll go through enough experiments that you will eventually come to the thing that works for you. Now if you stop or you keep doing the same thing over and over again, that's either insane or that's just you're not going to ever get anything done because you stop. You've basically given up. And those are where you really lose. That's where you really fail. And a few things that helped me through my failures, a few big tools, is one, making yourself accountable to someone else in real time, even if you can just go with that person on your sales calls. So if you're going to an event, you're trying to get in front of people, if you bring someone with and say, I'm going to talk to those 3 people, and then there's like a connection, like, oh, I told them I'm going to do this, like I have to do this now. It's much easier for me as a person to be accountable to someone else. There are times where some individuals can, push themselves or be their own anchor. Not most. And if you are one of those, awesome, you're ahead of the game, kill it. If not, definitely find a partner. Even call me if you want, or leave a comment and we can talk about if you want to create a schedule of us having a conversation so I can help you through some of your stuff. Definitely we can make that happen. The other thing to think about is what happened afterward. Figure out how to win the next time. You will look at the next meeting differently because you'll want to win instead of thinking about your failures. In that way, you have something to look forward to in a positive light of saying, okay, in that last meeting where I didn't make that sale, or I didn't talk to that girl or guy, or I didn't get across my message the way I want to in that speech, it'll be much easier to look at the positive. Okay, if I do this right the next time, I think it'll work better. In that way, you'll look forward to trying out your new learned experience. And this also comes to feedback, because sometimes in the moment you might not notice what you're doing incorrect, or even when you win, or you're winning to some degree, it's still good to get feedback from people that know what's going on, people that actually have the experience or knowledge to help you. For example, I'm doing a lot of reading right now. Gary Vaynerchuk was definitely a big piece of what I'm reading at the moment because he talks a lot about social media and how to use it properly, and that's something I'm learning right now. I talked to a lot of family members that have listened to the podcast and told me what they thought, whether it was boring, what subjects they pulled out of it, what stuck with them. Even to the fact that someone said, hey, you should really have an intro. So we might be seeing a professional made intro in the near future here. Someone come in, make a little mix, something for, the Anthony Smith, see exactly what we can do. But at the end of the day, take the feedback, look forward to those failures. I promise this, if you try to win, but you're excited to fail as well, that means no matter what happens in that conversation, you're going to be excited about the end result. And that just makes every single moment a lot easier. It'll make you want to get up more, it'll make you more passionate about what you're doing. And even to that point, if you're not passionate and you're failing a lot, you need these hints even more, because it will be harder for you to be consistent, because of the simple fact is, if you're not being honest with yourself and you don't like what you're doing, and you're also in a role that requires an intense conversation with others about your product and they're going to be asking you questions, you need to definitely be positive about how you're trying to help those people and how you're trying to bring value to them, even with the product that you may not like. It's Anthony Smith. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's talk about how we can help you grow your business, talk to more people, make things happen, all the good stuff.